Welcome back. This is part 3 of the concept plan PowerPoint introduction. When I left you last time, I had done just a texture fill to make this look like concrete or stone or whatever for the patio. What if I don't like any of those options? So those are the options there. Then I can go online and I can search for what I like. I can search for brick. I can search for flagstone. What's important when picking textures is that you pick ones that are seen flat on. So not these angled ones because they'll look funny in your picture, but pick ones that are flat on, like this one or this one, this one. I'm going to try maybe this one and insert it. And now you can see it looks like flagstone. So it's giving the idea that it's a more natural look instead of a more formal brick look. Now I want to show you if I want to put stones in the garden. So let's zoom in again. I'm going to go view, zoom, 400. Okay, so say I wanted to put in stones from here to here, then you have a few different ways you can do it. If you want it to look like river rock, so rounded, you can insert just ovals. Make them gray and get rid of the lines. That's not really gray, that's too dark. Gray. If you want it to look like more natural granite rock, like the rock we have around here, then you can insert the freeform shape and just draw something roughly rock shaped, something irregular. Again, get rid of the line. It doesn't look like anything right now. I'll do 2 pathways, one with river rock and one without. So I've got this basic shape here, and I'm going to hit Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and I'm going to paste them here and there. Actually, let's just do those 2. Now I want to make it look like a different piece of rock, so I'm going to hit Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to change the color, right? Because all rocks are not going to be the same color. And I'm going to change the shape of it a bit. And I'm going to line it up. And then I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to change the color again, change the shape a little bit again. Maybe it's skinnier. And then you can see I've got these 3 rocks. Maybe I'll do one more. Maybe this one's a really small one, and I'll make it darker. Okay, so I've got these 3 rocks. I want to do a path all the way to here. Obviously, it would take me way too long to cut, copy, and paste, or do a bunch of circles all the way. So this is my trick. Select 1, hold down the Shift button, select 2, 3, 4. Then you can let go of the Shift button, hit Control C, Control V, and you've got it now. Oops, Control Z. Now I've got another group of rocks. So if I get it on the arrows here, I can drag it there. And then what I want to do to make it look not so contrived is rotate the rocks. Okay, so then I can drag them into place. And then I can hit Control V again and paste another set of rocks. Again, I rotate them a little bit again, just so that they don't all look the same. Okay, so you just do them all the way to the top, to the end of your pathway. Make sure you're rotating them every once in a while so they don't look the same. You can fill in the gaps by copying and pasting. Okay, so there's my little riverbed. That's one way of doing it. If you want your rocks to look more granite-like, so I'm going to use these again, and then I'm going to drag it and drop it around. So I'm only going to use this shape every once in a while because I don't want it to look like they're all the same. And I'm going to rotate them so they look different. And you can even change the colors if you want. So once you get more accustomed to doing this, it's really easy just to make little changes. So now I'm going to insert a different shape of rock. Make sure it doesn't get too square-like. Get rid of the line, turn it gray, cut and paste it along your pathway, and then rotate again to switch it up. Change the colors. Maybe I'll do one more different type of shape, insert a shape. Maybe this one will be a bit roundish. So more clicks means smoother curve. Turn it gray. I can also make them look a little bit different by resizing them and rotating. If you really like one section, one combination, you can select those 3 by holding down the Shift button, copy and paste, and just move it up a little bit, rotate it around. Okay, so just like that, I've got a really basic flagstone path. And that's that. Let's zoom out again and take a look. So I'm going to go View, Fit to Window, and that brings it back so I can see the whole thing. I could go in and color the background grass area green if I wanted to, but usually I only color the changes that I'm making. So maybe for the fountain, I want to get some kind of pattern fill that represents water, like this. And then this one I will do gray, and I'll fill it in a bit gray. There you go, I got my little fountain there. So now that I've put my new changes that I want to do in there in color, so to highlight them, I'm going to label them. So I'm going to copy and paste some labels, one for the pergola, flagstone, maybe it's better labeled on this side, one for the pond, one for the garden. So redo your labels. And usually in a concept phase, like I said, we're not going to specify particular plants. So I'll just call it like a shade garden or a food garden. I'm going to call it a perennial garden because I would put all perennials in there. Try and get your labels all on one line. It'll look cleaner in the end. Okay, this will be my water feature. Make sure you try and get your point of your pointer into the middle of the object. So get them all on one line. There we go. Bring it over to the object. I'm going to make this another fence label so you can see that there's a fence on either side of the yard. If you want to spend a lot of time lining up these details, getting the lines to be perfect in line with each other, it does make a difference. Okay, now I can delete these guiding lines. So I'm just going to select it and hit the delete button, or you can right click it and hit the cut button. And there you go, there's your concept. So now the extra touch to make it look just that little bit more professional. I'm going to insert a border, a rectangle around the whole thing. And I'm going to put another rectangle on the right side called a title block. This is where all the information about the drawing is going to be. And I might make it a bit thicker to make it more obvious. Just make sure they line up. There we go. Okay, so I can put my north arrow in here, and then maybe I'll insert a text box. So one thing I always note is that the drawing is not to scale, so people don't try to take measurements off of it. And then I'll say who it's drawn by, because if you have different people at your company, you always want to know the person that created the design, in case anybody has any questions later on. Maybe I'll center it. Okay, then I've got another text box at the bottom for the details. Okay, I'm going to run out of time recording again. So if you want to see the details of the title block, stay tuned for part 4. Otherwise, that's a good place to get started. Just as a note, I usually put the company name up here with the company website or whatever it is, and the project information. So the address, the name of the clients, etc. Watch the last video if you're interested in that part.